Hello, I'm Tracy Grimshaw. Welcome to A Current Affair. First tonight, the Church of Scientology under siege. Ordinary Australian families have made explosive claims about the church and its role in not only their finances, but in destroying their families' lives.
The one man in the world who never believes he's mad is a madman.
L. Ron Hubbard, Messiah or Madman, the science fiction writer who made a name for himself as the founder of Scientology.
It's a slave camp, there's no question about it, because people are definitely abused.
The allegations about this organisation are very serious. Slave labour, coerced abortions, families being split apart.
The subjective name means skill, which means knowing how to know in the fullest sense of the word, ology, which is study of. So it is actually study of knowingness. That is what the word itself means.
The core of his beliefs was an interesting blend of his creative writings and religion. His key scripture describes an evil intergalactic warlord called Xenu, who visited Earth millions of years ago. Also the spirits of people he killed, which he claims are the cause of mankind's ills today. Initially he fled the United States by ship. The tax office was after him and he was accused of practicing mind control techniques. In the heyday of experimental philosophies in the 60s, and with a ship full of followers, he was continually on the run from port to port. And as Four Corners reported last night, it was the way in which they raised money that caused a lot of conflict.
This is in some ways the most bizarre story I've ever worked on, and the reason I say that is because many Scientologists have a belief system which is just totally different to the belief system of other people out there in the community.
In Australia, Scientologists were banned in 3 states in the 1960s, but they achieved legal status as a religion in 1983, allowing them to be tax exempt.
There definitely needs to be an inquiry into the church's status, because it's not really a church. It may have a philosophy that's religious, but it's strictly business.
Joe Reish was a former rugby league star for East and Canterbury Bankstown in the 1970s. Recruited by Scientology, he moved to the United States to study the religion.
The painful experiences hidden in your reactive mind are the cause of your fears.
Scientologists learn about Dianetics, L. Ron Hubbard's self-styled science of mental health. But it costs money.
To enjoy life.
What they don't tell you is that if you want to go clear, which is what Dianetics sells, that's a $35,000 to $75,000 project. You don't know that. So there's your first bait and switch. You buy a $3 book, and it's going to cost you 50 to 75 grand.
But it doesn't stop there. The spiritual path is long and costly.
Once you go clear, they say, well, forget about that. You need to go spiritually free. Well, hang on, I just got in to get rid of the mind. Now you tell me I got to go spiritually free, and there's another switch. But they don't tell you that's going to cost you as well. And there's this whole route all the way through to the top. Oh, that'll run you 150 to 250 grand.
I'll just stack these in here.
The Anderson family from Canberra know about the hard sell only too well. They've had thousands of dollars worth of Scientology material pushed onto them.
We were receiving up to 250 phone calls a fortnight to buy books. If not to buy books, to donate books. If not to donate books, it's to buy a second set, you know.
In Scientology offices and factories around the globe, these books and videos were put together by loyal followers under controlled conditions.
Exactly. I mean, the hourly rate was into the maybe 12 to 15 cents an hour, but you know, at that time we didn't consider it because we were getting fed. We had some birthing, despite the fact that it wasn't the greatest. We felt that we were at least contributing to something. But
when Joe decided to leave, all communication with his children was cut off.
They told everyone else, including my children. I cried. That's sad, you know. It's my kids. But you don't do that to a parent. You don't do that.
That too happened to the Anderson family in Canberra.
Look, she's a beautiful girl. I mean, I just, and she's mine. I don't know. I can't take the parent away. I'll try.
Fiona left school at 15 and started working for the church. Then Liz and James's second daughter, Jordan, wanted to join the Scientologists.
I love the uniform and I wanted to have that honour as a SEAL member. So I signed a contract for 1 billion years.
For this lifetime and those to come, she promised to work in Hubbard's Sydney office as a personal control officer, pay minimal and days off non-existent. In Australia, Peter O'Brien walked away from the church last year, saying the organisation is cruel.
You are allowed to study for 5 hours, and then the rest of it is cleaning and heavy work, heavy labour.
Here and overseas, the church is facing criticism from disillusioned and bitter followers.
I mean, looking back, I deeply regret even my fringe participation in some of the things that went on, and I'm ashamed of some of them.
Science fiction, science fiction, science fiction.
This Australian group is called Anonymous, afraid to show their faces because of what the church may do.
Make sure you cover your faces.
Innocent children are being brainwashed. My son is 7 years old. His father is determined to brainwash him into this cult. Stop the cult of cashology. That's what I believe in.
To be truthful, there is word that there could well be Scientologists trying to infiltrate our group to try and actually find out what's going on and make us look bad to the press as well.
Senator Nick Xenophon is calling for a federal parliamentary inquiry into the activities of the church.
The best way to deal with this is for the victims of Scientology to be able to have their say, to tell members of parliament through a Senate inquiry of their concerns, and that is the best and fairest way of moving forward with this.
And the man who reported last night's Four Corners expose believes it's not before time.
Well, in the course of making this film, we were ourselves followed by private detectives in cars. Now, this is typical, I believe, of the way the church treats the media, and it's typical of the way they treat ex-Scientologists.
You want a cup of tea?
And finally, having resigned to the fact of losing one daughter to the Scientologists, the Andersons fought to prevent Jordan from disappearing as well. After hearing she was unhappy at the church, Liz Anderson waited in her car outside the church for 4 days, finally snatching her child late one night.
I just couldn't believe it, that I had the girl. And it was a moment of, oh my God, we're free.